And you're the last people in the world to tell anyone else on earth about logic, reason, and sense. Your Western so-called Enlightenment civilization is a monstrosity in human history. Well, you've committed genocide after genocide, and you're committing one right now in Gaza. You're logical,
The United States has bombed all of the following countries since World War II. To begin, we do not have to travel far. In Central America, the United States has bombed Panama, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Grenada, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba. Moving across the ocean to Africa, we have Libya, Sudan, and Somalia. In Europe, the list consists of former Yugoslavian countries, namely Serbia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and Montenegro. Next is the Middle East, where the US dropped bombs on Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Kuwait, Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Moving to East Asia, we have Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Japan, and Korea. Finally, during the bombardment of Belgrade, a few bombs hit the Chinese embassy. So I've included China to the list as well. This is how the completed map looks like.
This is the book of Micah chapter 2 in verse 2, and it reads, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage." All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you brothers, and shalom to the elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. And this is the man of sin, the wicked and violent man according to the Holy Scriptures. And proven again in this lesson that America, Babylon the Great, is the hammer of the whole earth. Jumping right into this article here. This is from thenews.com. The headline, it reads, "The U.S. has been at war 225 out of 243 years since 1776. It says the U.S. has been at war for more than 92% of the time. So basically, since its inception, all right, it's been at war. Okay, this place was established off of war and violence. All right, and that's why the scriptures say that, he smote the people with a continual stroke, because he's not going to stop. Right? Isaiah 14:4 says that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased. Verse 5, the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, because we're in the time of the Lord taking down Babylon, taking down Esau. All right? And it's going to take the divine power of Yahweh Shemel Shai to remove this man from off the face of the earth, The point, verse 6, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. And this is what we saw in the video. War after war, bombing after bombing. You see that? Sanctions, all right, tariffs and taxes and, economic hitmen. You see? Everything, man. This is what he's about. This is how he's conquered the world, with that continual stroke. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So he's not going to stop, man. And this is why, as I said, the Lord is going to have to take him down. You see? Going back, right? So we understand that this place has been at wars, for the majority of his existence, It says, the American history of overt and covert foreign interventions dates back to 1811, when it had invaded Chile, just a year after the South American country had gained independence from Spain. The point right here, right, it says, research conducted by the, quote, Jane Group of Geo Television Network reveals that the United States has been at war for about 225 of the 243 years since its inception in 1776. While the number of U.S. foreign military interventions has stood at 188 till 2017, the world superpower was found involved in 117 partition electoral interventions between 1946 and 2000, or around one of every 9 ballot exercises held since the Second World War. This means that the United States has been at war for more than 92% of the time since its birth, making critics view that the rulers of the land found by Christopher Columbus have been addicted to the use of military might, and intoxicated with their successes against weaker nations that could not defend themselves from one reason or another. Or in other words, the United States has only been at peace for less than 20 years. You see that? So this is the man, again, this is the man of violence, man. These are the people of violence, the Edomites, right? Scripture say that Psalm 73 verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. The point, verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment, right? So this is the wicked and violent man. This is all he knows, right? This is right out of the scriptures, man. You see? And that's why it's going to take violence to throw him down, right? Which is going to be what? Nuclear destruction, World War III. Okay, these nations arming themselves up to come against the West, the Western hegemony. Psalms 140:10, it says, let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. You see that? So this is the last rule of the biblical Edomites. Okay, once he falls, he's not going to rise up ever again. Okay, so this is his last, hoorah, so to speak, man. Okay, the Lord is going to cast him down with that destruction. Verse 11, it says, let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. You see that? So evil is gonna hunt the violent man to overthrow him. All right. Once again, that destruction. Right, as they say, you reap what you sow. You live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword, man. And that's his story.
Here's every South American country which has had its government overthrown by the CIA since 1947. Costa Rica in 1948, Guatemala 1954, El Salvador 1979, Nicaragua 1981, Panama 1989, Paraguay 1954, Brazil 1964, Peru 1968, Chile 1973, Uruguay 1973, Argentina 1976, and Venezuela in 2002. Many of these were perceived as ideologically opposed to the United States, were leftist dictatorships, or were some combination of the two.
You see, and look what he's did to all these, Northern Kingdom, countries, so-called Latino, Hispanic nations, right? Like it says here, that this info is definitely missing from most U.S. history class curriculums, Let's get this too. Psalm 58 and verse 2, it says, yea, in heart you work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. You see that? So this is that man. This is the Edomite. Okay? Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Everywhere he goes is destruction, man. Chaos. All right? Destabilization. All right? This is who he is. Revelation 6 and 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and this is tied back to the Edomite. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, all right, which is his blessing. Okay? War and more war. Biological warfare, man. Sanctions. Okay? These different wines and philosophies that have corrupted nations, man. Okay? So again, the point that I'm making in this lesson is that the scriptures clearly identify who the Edomite is. There's no getting around it.
Going to walk away and get on with my life. But then two things happened within the space of a month, and I said, I can't let this story go. I just have to know what is really going on with this disease. And one was I met a CIA Black Ops guy who said in 1962, the weirdest thing he'd ever done in his whole crazy Apocalypse Now career was dropping poison ticks on Cuban sugarcane workers. That was Operation Mongoose. So that was the first evidence that we had dropped ticks on a foreign country as a bioweapon.
Right.
And then the other.
So again, like we say all the time, if this man is not the devil that the Bible speaks of, then where and who is he? Right? Biological warfare, dropping ticks and disease on nations, that's part of his warfare, man. That's part of his sword.
Thing is, one of my filmmaker friends went out to Willy Bergdorfer, and in a very long interview, at the very end, he said, yeah, when I investigated the Lyme disease sickness in the late 70s, early 80s, there was another organism there. It wasn't just Lyme that was making people sick. It was, and I was told to cover it up. It was probably a rickettsia. He didn't release all the information, but what he said was confirmed by copies of his lab books and subsequent interviews that I had with him.
Pardon my ignorance, what is the disease you described, the other one? Rickettsia?
So it's a rickettsia. It is the same organism that causes Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and that's the most deadly tick-borne disease in the United States. It also was a germ that was being weaponized by the U.S. military at the time, and they tried to stuff it in ticks. So what is tick weaponization? So in the interviews with Willie, what he said was, I spent over a decade in the biological weapons program, a contractor to Fort Detrick, working on weaponizing fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, trying to mass produce them, stuffing fleas with the plague, stuffing.
Yeah, and who's manufacturing mosquitoes right now? Okay, Kill Gates. See,
mosquitoes with deadly Trinidad virus, and then stuffing ticks with either deadly or incapacitating diseases like relapsing fever, Venezuelan equine encephalitis, rabies, leptospirosis, which is another spirochete. So it's just like Dr. Strangelove trying to make new diseases, mixing bacteria and virus in ticks with the intent of, this is the perfect stealth weapon. It's poor man's nuke. You drop these insects on an enemy, it weakens the population, it ties up the medical resources, but doesn't destroy infrastructure like a nuclear bomb would. And in one report from a bean counter in the military, they said, tularemia, which is tick-borne tularemia, also rabbit fever, we can kill 10,000 people at $1.33 a life. So anyways, it was just, there was more to tick-borne diseases than we realized, and I began suspecting that Willie was right, given this context.
It's all coming out, man. All right, this man is the wicked. These people are the wicked. All right, again, Habakkuk 2:5, it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. All right, as we just heard in the video. All right, what did he say? The poor man's nuke, weaponizing fleas and ticks and mosquitoes, man, to weaken a population. All right, madness, wickedness. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He's everywhere, as we saw. Bombing nations, all right? Wars. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, this is who he is. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, going into this debt. Because eventually this system is going to crash. All right, there's going to be an economic collapse. Okay, verse 7, it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Right, because as you see now, these nations are coming together to spoil Babylon, man. Let me add on to that, Isaiah 33. Because this place is getting ready to meet its ultimate fate. Right? Isaiah 33:1, it says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. And that's what we saw in the video, all right? The weaponization of ticks and fleas and mosquitoes, all right? These different diseases, this biological warfare, you know? It says, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, see? And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And that's what's getting ready to happen. These nations are plotting against America, against Babylon, to overthrow it. You know, and that's happening now. Going back, Habakkuk 2:8, it says, and because thou hast spoiled many nations, see? All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. So it's going to be payback, man. This is why it tells us in Joel, the 3rd chapter, that the nations, you know, now these weaker nations are declaring themselves as being strong. All right, now they have the nuclear weaponry. Now they have the technology as well. So the playing ground is even. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. See? Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. So no matter how much money and resources these devils have, all right, it's not going to stop the judgment of the Lord from befalling on them. You see? Babylon is still going to be judged with great violence. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Right? And that's what's going on throughout the planet Earth. The great cry against the Edomite, man. All right? Against the wicked. Payback, revenge. These nations mounting up. You know, like it tells us, Isaiah 13, there was a great tumultuous noise in the mountains. Isaiah 13 and verse 4, it says, the noise of a multitude of the mountains. All right, that's these major governments. Like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts, mustereth the host of the battle. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's preparing the nations for nuclear war. And these nations are coming together in alliances against this Western hegemony. They come from a far country, from the inner heaven, even the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, which is America, Babylon. And that's going to happen via nuclear destruction. Right? It says, woe to him, Habakkuk 2:12, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. And that's how America basically was established. After rape, robbery, and murder of the Israelites, all right? The 12 tribes, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. So as we read here, this place has been at war since its birth, right? And the Lord is going to take this place out with violence and war. You see? Excuse me. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23, and it reads, it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations, right? So once again, Babylon the Great, America, represents the hammer of the whole earth. As we saw, the wars, the bombings, all right, the destabilization, the infiltration, economic hitmen, all right, establishing these central banks, everything, the sanctions, right? It says, verse 24, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, the missiles. For this is the work of the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, destroy her utterly, and let nothing be left. And the Lord is not going to allow nothing to be left of this place, man. And it's rightly deserved. Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. So the time has come. All right? And as I said, it's all coming out. Every day this place is being exposed. These Edomites, America, all right, the history, you know, the secrets, everything, man. It's all, this place is finished. All right? So this place is getting ready to go out in the worst way possible. All right? Psalm 7. Just thinking about that real quick. This is Psalm 7 and verse 15. It says, he made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. All right? Which the pate represents the top of the skull, the top of the head. So everything is getting ready to fall right back upon his ass, you know? And that's prophecy. You know? Shalom.